Jack Hickey is a maritime trial attorney, and Jennifer Coffindaffer is a retired FBI agent, friend of the show, and worked with cruise ship crime before. Welcome to both of you. Jennifer, let me begin with you because we're talking about a potential suspect here who's just 16 years old, a minor. And I'm not exactly sure how it works with the FBI, with international law, and, you know, with federal crime. How are they going to treat this kid?
Well, essentially, there's doctrine. It's the Juvenile Delinquency Act, and that delineates what happens when the FBI is investigating a juvenile, how that's going to be adjudicated. Essentially, there's two ways, Ashleigh. One is they have to be increased to an adult, considered an adult, and then that way the FBI will continue the investigation and it'll be adjudicated federally. However, way more than 90%, the majority of cases actually are transferred to the local jurisdiction when there's a juvenile involved.
So, Jack, jump in here. I was just so curious about what happens on board. I mean, this death happened while they were still sailing, and it didn't come into port until many hours afterwards. Can you walk me through what happens on board? I mean, do they have a mini police division? Do they have detectives? Do they have crime scene tape? Like, what happened?
So, Ashleigh, thanks. You know, cruise lines and cruise ships do not have a governmental police force on board. There are no neutral investigating people who can come to the scene. Everybody, all security personnel on all cruise ships are employees of the cruise line. Carnival is no exception, and they have, you know, they have these security patrols and security personnel on board that are just their employees, and of course their allegiance, right, their loyalty is to the cruise line. Yes, they have protocols as far as, gee, a crime was committed and they found this crime, they found this woman's body the next morning, but you know, but whether they observe that or not, sometimes they do and sometimes they don't.
So if they get a suspect, and in this case they didn't, but I am just curious, if they have a suspect in something as serious as what could be a murder, do they have somewhere to keep that suspect until they reach dry land?
Yeah, you know, that's a good question. So every ship, every cruise ship, certainly of this size, and the Carnival Horizon is a, you know, tremendously huge cruise ship, a passenger capacity of almost 5,000 people. Every cruise ship has a brig on it, right? The old word for a jail or detaining facility on board. So yes, they have the capacity to do that. Apparently, they did not do that here, or so we think. Right now, it looks like we had the tip of the iceberg in terms of information and in terms of, you know, the evidence. And you know, you bring up a good point. Is he is this stepbrother, and this is the current thinking, is the stepbrother is a part of the investigation. Is he a target of this, or is he something lesser than a target? We don't know that yet.
So, you know, I think the critical question here would be, Jennifer, since you have worked in concert with cruise ships and cruise liners in your work as an FBI agent, do they play in the sandbox well? I mean, when that cruise ship came into port, they flipped that thing so fast and out it goes, clean as a whistle. Would the FBI even have enough time? Would the cruise ship even invite you on board and give you enough time to put up the tape, collect any evidence you can? Like, how does that work?
Well, I can tell you, Ashleigh, from personal experience working a murder aboard a cruise ship in the Virgin Islands, that what happens is when you enter on that ship as a representative of the FBI, first of all, the relationships with the cruise liners is developed well in advance of that. As the SSRA in the Virgin Islands, I personally had a great relationship with the individuals in the cruise line industry. So when that particular murder happened, we came on board, and I don't want to say we didn't commandeer everything, but certainly they gave us a room. We set up a war room. The United States attorney that was in that district, actually it was the assistant United States attorney, he came into the war room, was a big part of the investigation. They provided rooms for us to conduct these interviews. Ashleigh, basically, we had as much time as we needed to conduct a thorough investigation and witness interviews.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.